What is going on, YouTube? It is your boy Dev. Welcome back to Building Wealth with Dev. Now, guys, I gotta take this smile off my face because I'm upset. I'm mad, guys. I'm angry. And the reason I'm angry is because we just had a messed up situation, y'all. We just had a situation in which a tenant played us. Yeah, that's right, man. Mad, guys. It's crazy. So we bought this property. This was the most recent property we bought. I've told y'all about our rental portfolio. We own 9 properties, blah, 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 right? Bought this property in February. We actually closed on it on Valentine's Day, right? So we end up moving this tenant in. And she ended up moving in April, right? So she moved in April. And we ended up doing the full work. So something we do before we move a tenant in is we do a background check. We do a credit check. And something that we do that's pretty unique, that if you own rental properties, you should steal this, is we actually go tour the tenant's previous residence. So we reach out to them, and we basically ask them if we could come tour their place that they're moving from, because we just like to see, okay, depending on what their place is looking like, that's probably what our place is going to look like if we allow this person to move in. So we go, we check it out, and then as long as their place is clean, a lot of times that's the final step in our application process, and we move on. So my wife and I, we really caught a really good vibe with this tenant, right? Credit was good. Or credit was cool, right? A lot of times what I've realized with owning rental properties is not all, but a lot of tenants, their credit isn't perfect, right? I realized that if somebody's credit is perfect and they have great income, they could go out and buy their own house, right? So the credit was cool. It wasn't perfect. I don't think it was over 600. I think it was just shy of 600. But anyways, ended up giving this tenant a shot, right? Income was cool. The place, her last place, was clean. And we were like, okay, like this is cool. Like she seemed like she's gonna be real cool. So we end up moving her in, and she moves in April of 2023. Now, we get the money for April. Now, this tenant had a dog, and we usually don't let pets in our properties, but we decided, since her place was so clean, we were like, all right, we'll let you have a dog, but with a pet deposit. So we were charging her a second security deposit. I made a huge mistake, guys, and I got to live with it, right? I made the mistake. That's the cool thing about rental properties. If you make a mistake, you can't blame your mistake on putting the wrong person on the property on anybody but yourself, because you ultimately put the person in the property. That's the thing with rental properties. They're like a reflection of yourself, right? I couldn't go out and blame anybody. It was all my fault, but I'm going to get to it. So we ended up letting her move in. And I only collected one deposit, and she told me that she was going to have the other deposit to me by the end of the month. Now, unfortunately, guys, I didn't get that deposit. The end of April came, the end of April 2023, and I only had that one deposit, and she had paid April's rent. May comes, and guys, it got to the 3rd or the 4th day of the month, and I had not received any rent. Now, mind you, this tenant had just moved in the previous month. So if a tenant starts off bad like that, they ain't paying on the first full month. Man, I'm like, oh, shoot, here we go. So reach out. And of course, I'm going to get it to you. Okay. Reach out again. We accidentally sent the rent to my previous landlord, and I'm so sorry, You sent the rent. Now, mind you, I collect all my rent via Zelle, right? But you sent the rent to your previous landlord. Why are you? Some stuff, what I've learned when you own rental properties, some stuff you can believe, and then some things you just can't believe. I don't know if I believe that or not. But she sent a screenshot of what looked to be a Zelle to another person in her contacts named landlord, right? So she may have sent it to her previous landlord, right? You never know. But anyways, I'm like, okay, well, that's really, I'm sorry, not my problem though. Like, I have a mortgage on this property. I have taxes I have to pay. I have insurance. I just bought this property. I just spent $16,000 on my down payment. I just put in a brand new stainless steel refrigerator in here, a brand new stainless steel dishwasher. I just got this crib painted, and you telling me that I can't get my rent. Excuse my frustration, y'all. So, long story short, she's giving me the runaround. And then she decides to ghost me. So she decides that she's not going to respond to my messages anymore. And I'm like, wow. So it's crazy, guys. When you own rental properties, it's so messed up because you can't just go change the locks on the tenant, right? Even though they have madly disrespected you, even though they have no idea how much you have had to go through in order to even be in the position to be able to provide a safe, affordable house for them. You cannot do anything crazy, right? You can't go and just change the lock. You can't go and just put all their stuff outside. You can't do any of that. You have to go through the government, right? You got to love the government, right? So we ended up having to file an eviction against this tenant. Now we filed the eviction, and in my city, they make you go online and do like this online mediation portal. So mind you, I told you, the tenant would not reach back out to me. But when I signed up for that online portal and she got that email from the county saying that she was being evicted, she had the nerve to sign up for that portal online. Now, guys, this hurt me because anytime a tenant moves into one of our homes, and if you ever have met anybody who've lived in any of our properties, which you probably haven't, but if you ever did, our tenants would all say the same thing. We are amazing landlords. We provide an incredible landlord to tenant experience at all times. Our properties are kept in tip-top shape. We would feel comfortable living in any of our properties that we own. They're all that nice, right? So when we move in, we always lay the expectation and we let our tenants know that it's a partnership, guys, and we couldn't be successful landlords without you being an amazing tenant. But this tenant didn't care. Like I said, she ghosted me, but she had the nerve to respond to the government after I signed up to that online portal. So we're doing the portal and we couldn't reach an agreement and she wouldn't leave. That's the whole basis of this story, guys. She would not leave. I gave her a notice before I filed the eviction asking her to leave the premises. She wouldn't leave, guys. So she's not paying. She won't leave my property. What am I supposed to do? I was left with no other option, guys, but to file an eviction on her. And I didn't want to do it, guys. I never would ever want to put an eviction on anybody's record because having an eviction on your record can really hold you back from being able to buy a property one day. Having an eviction on your record makes you look horrible to future landlords. I would never want to put that on somebody's record, guys. But here I am. I'm in a situation. My back is against the wall. I just bought this property. This tenant is not paying me my monthly rent. She's ghosted me. She's no longer responding to me. And I'm left with no other choice but to file that eviction. And that's what I had to do. And she ended up signing up for the online portal. Like I said, we didn't reach an agreement through the portal. And we ended up getting that eviction. Now, guys, again, I'm not happy about the whole situation. I wish that she would have left after I gave her the 3-day notice to vacate. And I wish she just would have left the property and we would have moved on. Now, I know you're wondering, what happened when I got the keys? So, unfortunately, the tenant that was in there, she dragged it out until the very last day where the sheriff comes out and lets you in your property. Now, fortunately, she left the keys in the mailbox the morning of that incident. So the sheriff didn't actually have to come out, or I would have been recording that process because that would have been crazy. But I ended up getting the keys. I got back inside my property, and I'm super grateful to this individual because she did not damage my property. She left it clean. There were a couple things that were damaged, of course, from the dog. I should have listened to my intuition and went with another tenant who did not have a dog because the dog ended up destroying my basement floor. Luckily, it was concrete, so all he did was just scratched it with his paws and really just destroyed it, in which it needed painted again. There was some wood downstairs that was damaged due to the pet that she had in the house. And then the carpet downstairs sadly needed cleaned. She had only been in there for a couple months. But the dog, it smelled like pee down there. So we ended up getting it cleaned and we got it all together. Now, guys, I'm not making this video to scare you from owning rental properties. I'm making this video so that you can know of a worst case scenario when it comes to owning rental property. And this isn't even a worst case scenario type of situation because this tenant did not destroy my property. Now, sadly, that tenant does owe me $3,000, guys. She left me with like a $400 water bill, which was just ridiculous. There's nothing I could do, guys. Luckily, I did get to keep that security deposit. But even after the security deposit, After all the money I had to put back in it to get it rent ready again, and the time it took from when she stopped paying for me to rent it back out, I lost about $3,000 with this tenant. Guys, rental properties can be great. We currently have a rental portfolio that brings us in about $3,500 every single month in passive income. But all it takes is for one tenant not to pay to throw that whole cycle off. And that $3,500 number can go down. Now imagine if you only had one rental property and the tenant decides that she's going to do what this tenant decided to do to us. Well, guess what? Now you got to make that mortgage payment. You got to pay those taxes and you got to pay those insurance bills. So just make sure when you buy rental properties, you have a nice amount of cash reserves set aside. Because if you don't, you might end up in a situation where that rental property might have you going bankrupt. And you don't want to do that, guys. You don't want to go bankrupt fooling around with these properties. You want to be in a solid financial position, and you want the rental properties to enhance your lifestyle, not hurt your lifestyle, guys. But that's going to be it for this video. I wanted to share with you guys the story of our most recent eviction, guys. It sucks. I didn't want to do it. I still think the lady that we put in that property is a really nice lady. I think we might have just caught her at a bad time in her life. And, you know, at the end, guys, I wish she just would have left. I wish I wouldn't have had to put the eviction on her record. I wish she just would have left the property, guys, because why? Like, why drag it out? Why hurt my family? It just didn't make sense to just hurt my family, guys. $3,000 is a lot of money. I know if somebody owed you $100, you tripping. Guys, I'm not tripping at all, guys. I had to act a little angry at the beginning of the video, but guys, I'm a Christian, and I know that God will bless me in another way. And it is what it is. I wish nothing bad on her. I wish nothing but the best for her and her family. And I know that God has a plan for her life, just like he has a plan for my life, guys. So always remember, when God is in it, there is no limit. Your dream life is out there. You just got to find a way to go get it. We'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.